Cowboys' Jerry Jones reveals playing time decision on running back Dalvin Cook. Rome may not be yet engulfed in a five-alarm blaze, but the owner of the Dallas Cowboys on Tuesday was doing his best fiddling. It was Nero who picked up his musical instrument as his ancient city burned. And in the wake of his current team's 44-19 dismantling last Sunday by the New Orleans Saints, it's Jerry Jones attempting to casually shrug as if to say nothing to see here. In fact, pretzel-twisting Jerry not only downplayed the disappointment but also tried to bend it into a positive. On any given Sunday you can have a bad day and lose a ball game, Jones said during his weekly radio show on 105.3 The Fan. Look, the albatross around our neck in recent years is that we've been very good during the season, not good during the playoffs. Maybe let's trade challenges. While admitting the running game, run defense, and general lack or urgency were all to blame for the loss that dropped his team to 1-1, Jones said there is no impetus for drastic changes. We have players that can do what we were trying to do a lot better, he said. So this doesn't call for change in system or change in players. If I were a fan and asking is what we're going to look forward to all the season? It is not. Despite a rushing attack that through 2 weeks ranks 25th in the league with only 170 yards, Jones said it's not time for a shakeup that might include newly signed running back Dalvin Cook taking carries away from Ezekiel Elliott or Rico Dowdle. I thought Rico did real well, he said. I don't necessarily see a change that would involve Cook this week. 3 roster changes Cowboys should make after embarrassing Week 2 loss to New Orleans. The Cowboys may want to consider making some adjustments to their roster. Change for the sake of change isn't always the best course of action to take after something dramatic happens, but the Dallas Cowboys need to do something after their embarrassing Week 2 loss to the New Orleans Saints. In fact, a few changes here and there could help the overall productivity of the team moving forward. Today, we are going to take a look at 3 roster moves the Cowboys should consider making to help fix some of their problem areas through the first 2 weeks of the 2024 season. Make LB DeMarvion Overshown a starter. DeMarvion Overshown looked and played fantastic against the Cleveland Browns in the 2024 season opener, but for whatever reason saw his snap count decrease significantly in the Week 2 matchup with the New Orleans Saints. Overshown, 18 snaps, played less than Damone Clark, 41 snaps, and Marist Liufau, 39 snaps, at linebacker in their embarrassing loss to the Saints. There's reason to believe things will be different for him in Week 3. Expect similar playing time, 44 snaps, and production, 9 tackles, 1 QB sack, for DeMarvion Overshown had from Week 1 against the Browns this week against the Baltimore Ravens. He is the perfect type of sideline-to-sideline LB with speed to help combat QB Lamar Jackson's dual-threat ability. Although Mike Zimmer hasn't come out and said it just yet, Overshown could be best used as a spy in Week 3 to help contain the Ravens' slippery QB. Give Ryan Flournoy some playing time. Minus CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys don't really have another true playmaker on offense to make Dak Prescott's job easier. The consistency simply isn't there from Brandon Cooks or Jalen Tolbert, and with Jake Ferguson recovering from injury, the team could use a boost. It might be time to see what Ryan Flournoy can do, Dallas 6th-round pick, 216th overall, this year. Flournoy is listed at 6 feet 1 inch, 200 pounds on Dallas roster and would bring something a little bit different to the table for the Cowboys' passing game, a strong size/speed combination. He ran a 4.44 40-yard dash in the pre-draft process and would give Dak Prescott a legit speed element to target, with the additional ability to high-point the ball. Something that could help in the red zone. He could be a spark that gives a boost to Dallas' passing game. The Dallas Cowboys' rushing attack, or lack thereof, through the first 2 weeks of the 2024 season leaves much to be desired. Ezekiel Elliott has a total of 16 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown, Rico Dowdle has 55 total yards on 15 carries, and Deuce Vaughn has 15 yards on 3 carries. Not one of the three has really looked like starting material so far, and it's really handicapping Dallas' offensive productivity, making them one-dimensional. With Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, and Deuce Vaughn not really moving the needle much in the rushing attack so far this season, it might be time for the Cowboys to turn to Dalvin Cook. The 5 feet 10 inches, 210-pound 8-year vet RB may be coming off a down year in 2023 after playing for both the Jets and Ravens, but he did rush for over 1,000 yards the season prior in 2022. It may be time to find out exactly how much, if anything, he has left in the tank. Cowboys' Jerry Jones facing mounting pressure to take action on Mike McCarthy. Back in January, in the wake of the Cowboys' embarrassing 48-32 loss to the Packers to open the NFL playoffs, on their home field, there appeared to be little chance that coach Mike McCarthy would survive that fiasco. It was not even in the wake of that game, actually. Even by halftime, there was chatter that the game represented a death march for McCarthy's Cowboys career. The reasoning was simple. McCarthy has a team good enough to rack up a 12-5 record in each of the last 3 seasons. Yet he also coached the team to a 1-3 record in the postseason, saddling this group with a reputation for softness when the going gets tough. McCarthy survived, though, as Jerry Jones said he valued the continuity that the coach brings over an abrupt change, even with the playoff flops. Now, though, with the Cowboys reeling after their defense, under new coordinator Mike Zimmer, was throttled in a 44-19 loss to the Saints, the score was not really even that close. Fans and observers around the Cowboys have begun to call for owner Jones to reconsider his stance on McCarthy and fire him before things unravel even more in Dallas. Now, it's hardly a new thing for fans to call for the firing of a coach after a loss. But with McCarthy, the questions are seeping in more and more among NFL media, and appeared to even be weighing on Jones when he was shown in the owner's box during Sunday's game. As Taylor Mathis, a respected analyst for DraftKings, wrote on Twitter/X, "Today is day 1 of my campaign to fire Mike McCarthy. Retweet if you second this motion." One source of frustration is the way the Cowboys, who yielded 243 yards on the ground to the Saints in Week 2, generally fail when they go up against a coach who has worked with 49ers offensive guru Kyle Shanahan. The Saints' Clint Kubiak is the latest example. John Williams, who writes for USA Today's Sooners Wire, shared on Twitter/X, "When the hashtag Dallas Cowboys fire Mike McCarthy, they better hire someone out of the Shanahan tree." Former coach Rex Ryan, speaking on ESPN's Get Up program on Monday morning, could not believe the Cowboys made no adjustments during the game. "Maybe it's me," Ryan said. "But is it okay to sit back and take an A** whipping like they did? Shouldn't they bring a safety up off the edge, something to stop the run, something to disrupt the running game? I don't know, why just take a butt kicking? Wouldn't you have that in your bag of tricks?" Mike McCarthy in contract's final year. Jones did weigh firing McCarthy, of course, but in bringing him back, he left McCarthy without a contract extension, essentially with him coaching on a 1-year deal. That's a risky proposition to put a veteran coach into. It's very easy for players to tune in a coach they know is going to be fired in a few months anyway. Assuming the Cowboys are not going to grant McCarthy a surprise in-season extension, especially not at this point, firing him in order to jolt this roster into playing better might make the most sense in the end. But on Sunday, at least, Jones did not appear to be in a hurry to pull the plug on McCarthy. "This is early," he said, via Todd Archer of ESPN. "This is very, very early. And we certainly didn't see it coming. Obviously we've got a lot of room for improvement here.